right, welcome back to the iWealth podcast. And today, me and Mr. Brad Connors are talking about Plan on Purpose.
Yep.
And before we jump into the topic, give me a 2-second version of what that is.
Yeah. So years ago, Matt, and we just redid Fish Don't Clap. And so
this is your book.
My book. And so for our clients, we created a website that goes along with Fish Don't Clap. The issue was we released it to other financial advisors, and if they didn't write Fish Don't Clap, like, what's it mean? And so we came up with the name 4 Days Coming, so future, 4 days coming in the future, Plan on Purpose. So we call it FDC, Plan on Purpose, or Fish Don't Clap, however you want to spin it. Anyway, the gap that I saw, the friction I saw with financial planning is that many good financial advisors will ask you about your beneficiary review. What are you going to do around Social Security? When are you going to turn it on? How are you going to handle long-term care? Have you had a family meeting? You know, all these different topics. Those topics, though, were hidden, meaning we would talk about it in a meeting, and then it would be in my notes, or it would be in our CRM, where we keep track of all our clients' data, or it'd be in an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. And it wasn't client-facing, and the clients are all part of the plan. And so we flipped the script. I don't know, 10 years ago, we had a web developer design this for us. And so now when clients come in, there's basically 5 different gaps around family, legal, taxes, giving, that we talk to clients about. And then we help them with their lifetime plan score. So in the tool itself, Matt, the client picks an avatar for the future. So what looks fun? Trying to think if yours is like a red car or what you picked. And then we talk about Dan Sullivan's R factor. So 12 months from now, what needs to happen. And then we get into tasks that come from the meeting. If I need you to bring your tax returns to the next meeting, or I need you to go update your beneficiaries at work, whatever your tasks are, and then my tasks. And then it's an app that the clients can open up and see. But we recently just added another gap. You want to hear about it?
Yeah, what is the gap? What's the new part to the app?
So this is interesting. So, you know, Sean, JP, and myself, Gary, like, we've been working on this for years with clients, like going through these gaps. And we're so used to it. We time date stamp it. We've put in what's your story around college giving, what's your story around long-term care. But here's the disconnect that I just recently came across. What about digital assets? So, you know, you've lost loved ones in your life. I've lost loved ones in your life. So, you know, we'll pick on myself. If I wasn't here today and you were sitting across from Trudy, the conversation goes like this. So Trudy, Brad had a Facebook account. What are we going to do with that? Do we leave that Facebook account up forever? Does Brad want it down? How do we even get in? Where's his passwords? What about his email, his Gmail? Do we shut that down? Do we redirect it somewhere else? You know, so if you think back to somebody that you've lost, and there's all these things that initially happen, like the life insurance and K plans, and, you know, the title on the house and things that you got to do. Digital assets is a new beast. Of how you, I mean, when I bring that up, what comes into your mind?
Well, just the strategy around thinking about, like, oh, if I had a parent that died, you just wait for the mail to show up in high hopes that they're going to send you something that is like, hey, you should renew this. I didn't even know that we had that. And so you just wait for the mail to show up. But now, these days, so many things are just being delivered online with an online statement that is a real issue, where maybe before they would send you a physical update in the mail.
And if I'm gone, how do they know my password? I mean, can they open my iPhone to look at my Gmail to keep going? Maybe. You know, what happens if I have to change my password, and then what's the recovery email? Like, there's all these questions around. And some people might not want it. Like, I might want my Facebook gone. Like, if I'm not here anymore and I'm not posting, I'm not sharing pictures, I might not want it anymore. But the guy sitting next to me might want it to be a legacy asset. And have it there for his grandkids that he hasn't even met to be able to see it.
Yeah, it's an interesting issue. And it was like a non-issue 10, 15, 20 years ago. And now it's like a real thing.
Right. And so I don't know if you've been in one of these conversations. Like, I've had them nonchalantly with family members, but not clients. And so I said to the team, let's create a digital asset gap in FDC Plan on Purpose, and let's start being intentional with our clients. If we at least can, because if they're not talking to their kids about this and then they die, at least we've had the conversation, and then we're the gatekeepers knowing what dad said around his email and social media accounts. And now you have things like all of a sudden they got a Robinhood account or Coinbase account or crypto wallets or what. Like, where is that stuff? Where's the keys? Where's the codes? Does mom have it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's a weird conversation to have with your parents, but as a third person in the mix, you can have that conversation a little easier. And I do think it's helpful because if there's an elephant in the room, maybe dad did buy crypto when it first came out, and all of a sudden that's a game changer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a weird conversation for some people to have with their own parent, but
Right.
for you guys, it's part of your job.
And I mean, I think you might even told me the story, like the guy that was digging through the dump looking for like a garbage dump, looking for his code for his
Yeah.
Bitcoin. Why? I mean, he got Bitcoin right away, and then his wallet went away, or his code that he wrote down,
Yeah.
and he like paid, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars to go through this thing to try to find it, because it was millions of Bitcoin that he could,
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever found it, but if dad had, some type of crypto that he bought, let's make sure that we at least know where the code is
how to
for it.
get
Like,
in.
I don't need the code. As the advisor, I don't need the code. I just need to know where to go get it.
Yep.
Where do I tell your kids to go find it,
Yeah, it's like a digital version of the lockbox.
Yep.
So many of our parents have lockboxes.
Yeah.
And what is the new version of that?
Yeah. And it's not even our parents anymore. It's you and I.
Yeah.
And so, one of the things that we did as a family, so my kids, I use an app that secures all my passwords, and Trudy and I share that app. And so if I update my Google password, she can see it. But what happens if we're both not here? So what we just did is so my kids have the same app, but it's theirs. I don't have access to it. So what we did is I went and I now have Kendra's password to get into her special app if something happened to her, and Corbin's. But I also gave Kendra and Corbin the special password for mom and dad's. So if they need passwords, they can log into our app and they can start to look at passwords and there's hundreds of them in there. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
And so where do you store that, and who's in charge, and who should make decisions, and all those different types of things. And then here's the question, Matt. Who's in charge of the conversation? Like, who should have this conversation with people? Is it the banker? Banker's not going to have it.
Yep.
Is it your church, your minister? I mean, who's going to have it? Is it your lawyer? Are you going to go pay them $350 an hour to have this conversation? I think the financial advisor, that's part of what they should be doing, is be helping the clients with this type of stuff.
Yeah. And it's interesting because people are like, oh, well, with a financial advisor, I'll be able to go in an hour, clean this up or, do some planning to it. And just the conversation around digital assets is more than an hour conversation. And so there's that disconnect between what people think that they need, at least in my mind, versus the reality of like, how do you take care of only that one element? I mean, that's probably a 2.5 hour conversation for somebody that lives and works in that space. And even with the online banking thing, I mean, how many people have multiple sets of banks, right? With multiple sets of passwords. And now all of those statements are being delivered, via email instead of as a paper statement.
Yeah. We're collecting, it's good insight. We're collecting like our clients copies of their wills, power of attorney, healthcare directives.
Yeah.
If we get this stuff down on digital assets, again, we can't have the password, don't want them. But if we know the right people and where the bones are buried, what you said earlier, now we can help the spouse or we can help the kid saying, all right, here's power of attorney. Well, wait, dad's dead. That doesn't work. Here's the will. Here's the one appointing you as the executor. Take that. Here's where the stuff is located. Go find it. Here's what dad's wishes are. Like, we can help put that whole story together.
Yeah.
The weird thing is I mentor a lot of financial advisors right now. And they all come out of school, I included, and they think they're going to be the hero and be able to pick the magic stocks and ETFs and mutual funds, and they think that's what it's all about. Well, with AI and everything else, and we'll probably do a separate one about this, like this whole landscape is changing. Like if you just want to manage money, you can get that done anywhere. But the conversation we're having today around digital assets and the planning part of it, that's where the future is of helping people. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, it's also a topic that they haven't thought about.
So you sit back and you look at your own family. Like that's what I did. Is I sat back and said, what about my kids? If Trudy and I weren't here, what? Yep. And so that's why I put them in the password app. But I still haven't sat down with Trudy, because we just did this, to say, what are your wishes? I don't know her wishes on her Facebook. Does she want it around? What about her Instagram? Do you want me to post something that said, "I'm now dead, thank you," and leave it there? How do we handle this? So it's just, if anything, hopefully this spurs somebody to go have the conversation with their spouse and then put together your own solution if you have it. If you don't have it, find someone that can help you. But does that make some sense?
It does.
Am I off my rocker? Or?
No, it's a very interesting conversation. All right. Anything else we should know about this?
We're good.
All right. We'll see you back here next time on the iWealth podcast.
Thank you, Matt.